YCS Overview PogChamp. YCS Overview PogChamp. Let's listen to the new intro. All right. So, this past weekend was the NAWCQ, the North American World Championship qualifier in the beautiful city of Indianapolis, Illinois. I was super happy to be able to go. I had been testing my rear end off on duelingbook.com. We love to play Dueling Book. We call it Dueling Book. It used to be Dueling Network. Now they want me to call it Dueling Book. It's not going to happen. What did I say? Illinois? You know, Indianapolis, Indiana. That's what I said. Maybe it's in Illinois. Anyway, so here's how my tournament went. First and foremost, on Thursday, I had a Trusts final. This was a big fucking disaster. It was at 6 p.m. at night, which meant I got home at like 11 for a flight at like 7, right? I had been practicing all week for the Trust final, and I had been trying to get in some more reps on Dueling Book. The one thing that had kind of fucked me up is Duad just came out, and I'd had maybe a couple of days of practice against the new decks. The ones I were most concerned about were Lunalite by a large mile. I decided early on that I was going to be playing Ryziel Mitsurugi. I think that deck is the best equipped into the most matchups, and also, importantly, it is kind of hard to fuck up past a certain point. Playing it well and optimally the entire time is difficult, as is any deck. But there is a floor on how bad you can fuck up. And don't worry, I hit that floor a couple of times, but it's not like Malice where you can make one mistake and it loses you the game. It is, in a series of words that I use a lot on Saga, forgiving. Anyway, I bring a lot to this event because I'm not sure how long I'm going to stay in. This ended up being frustrating because I didn't really get to use any of it, but I brought a hat deck because I wanted to maybe play in that big Time Wizard event. The Time Wizard Giant card was hat, for those of you that don't know. I brought Yu-Gi-Oh! Dan Dan, which I have put together a preliminary build for, and I'm super excited about. This is again, like, it needs a lot of work. It needs more eyes on it. You're going to see more of it over the next couple of weeks. But Dymax recommended the Dan Dan be Red-Haired Hasty Horse. And the rest of the cards in it are cards that, like, proc the destruction effect or, like, put it on top of the deck. It's like Good Goblin Housekeepings and, like, Phoenix Wing Wind Blasts and, like, Time Seals and Dark Bribes and Jelly Cannons and Kinkyo Sukjis and Broken Line and Fuse Line. And there's all this cool, crazy shit in it. One card I was missing, Spellbook Organization, and I really wanted it. I spent the whole event trying to find Spellbook Organizations. No one had them. I saw every card but it at the event. So I had to wait till I got home and they were in the mail. Anyway, you will see more of this deck in the coming weeks on other channels, so keep an eye out for it. But for now, it's still in a very early stage. You know, it's totally untested. So I brought that. I brought Hat. I brought Edison. I brought Goat. I've started bringing Goat, Edison, Hat to everything. Fortunately, leaving Tengu at home because it looks like it's just not in the cards. And I, of course, brought Ryziel Mitsurugi. I packed it all up. I get up at like 4 in the morning to go to a 7 a.m. flight. Go to the flight. It's a BWI. BWI closer to me than Dulles and Reagan. And also that's way better for me because every second I'm in Reagan, I want to kill myself. So I get on the plane. It's like 7 a.m. flight. We sit down. It's a Southwest flight, which if you've never been on a Southwest flight, Southwest is cool insofar as you don't have to pay for your first checked bag. For I think the next couple of weeks maybe, but it's bad insofar as you are always in the middle seat. You are, unless you pay a fee or you get lucky, you are almost always in the middle seat. So I'm in a middle seat. I'm sitting there, kind of sweating, and we're on the tarmac for maybe like 30 minutes, and I'm like, this is a little longer than usual. And the captain goes, "Hey, there's a problem on the plane. We're just gonna get it fixed. We should be out of here in 5 minutes." That's a lie. An hour passes and they go, "Hey, we fixed the problem, so it's going to be another 5 minutes and then we're going to head out." Another 20 minutes passes. He goes, "Hey, we're just waiting on the paperwork. We just got it, so we'll fill out the paperwork. 5 minutes will be up in the air." Oh, okay. And then maybe 15 minutes after that, he goes, "Okay, so because they didn't replace anything, they just flipped something that was already on the plane. There's a chance it could fail again, so they're taking this plane out of service. You all are going to have to get on a different flight." And I was like, yeah, I'm going to fucking die. So we got off the plane. We were all so mad. I got out of there, I think, at like maybe 1. Thankfully, short flight. I thought about doing the drive. It was a 9-hour drive, and I was like, I think I could do it, but I should do the plane. It's a 90-minute flight. Doesn't save me that much money because of the way gas works. So I'm like, fine. So I get on the plane, and we get there at like, I'm at the space at like 4 p.m. So I'm in an Airbnb with Danny, Leah Asimov, and Peeps. And that is a group I like rooming with. I like rooming with the Yu-Gi-Oh YouTubers as well. I've done that a number of times. But it is nice to share a space with some people that aren't just about Yu-Gi-Oh YouTube, you know? So we had the council set up, and we were in a place in Indianapolis that was right smack in the center of everything. It was a block of apartments called The Block, of all things. And Danny found this Airbnb. It was so interesting. This place is like a 15-story department building, like a mall, that got dilapidated and sold, then renovated into apartment units. So it looks like a dead mall. Like there's a central area on every floor that's just a floor of a mall. And there's like escalators to nowhere and real backrooms ass vibes. Like very like fucking beige and stained carpeting ass shit. And so but I'm having a great time. I think that's fucking cool as hell. So I get in on Thursday, or I get in on Friday. I hang out at the event space most of the day. First off, shouts out to everyone who came up to me over the course of the weekend. Just a quick once-over of the thread. Because it was local to King Scarlet, he was there. So I hung out with all these people all weekend. Peeps, Kevin, Jaxel, King Scarlet, Trevor, Neil Breen, Danny. I don't know how much I want to reveal about the two covered up people and the person next to them. Gage, Super Insane, and myself. And we were just fucking around. Shouts, and Dyer was there too. She wasn't. Here is me and Julian, who is a MasterChef judge. We're sharing a drink at this soy-ass arcade bar I'll talk about in a moment. I accidentally video called someone who sent me a DM by laying on something wrong. Just a bunch of cool people that I was able to meet. This guy came up to me and he was like, oh, this is like on Saturday. He was like, yo, Joseph, can we get a picture? And I said, oh yeah, sure. He goes, sure. And he hands me the phone and then they pose for a picture. And I was like, that's a good ass bit. I can't be bad. That's a really funny bit. But I signed a lot of dual taintings. I signed a lot of white arbitrations. There are very few that have all three of our signatures on it, but I'm glad that there's a couple. This is the one person I am a little upset about. They were like, I've been trying to track you down for 2 years to get you to sign the rest of my tier limits, and I did and signed a White Lord, but I was definitely in a bad mood. Like I was in a visibly bad mood. I apologize. This was the only one I wasn't on for. Super Sleuth 94, if you're here, deeply sorry. I had just taken an insane loss. I signed more Smigers than anything else. So post Saga mood. No, I was like amicable, but I wasn't like excited. I try to be like excited for everybody. It was great meeting you. Just like a ton of people. This person handed me this creepy little punk, and I was like, "Can I change it to this creepy little fuck?" And they let him. A lot of white dust-ons. They took them out for the dippities. I also signed some dippities. It was nice. Ryder was there. There's a significant amount of them that are... Honorable Intent posted. Okay, also we hung out with Honorable Intent over the course of the weekend. This is weird. MBT's pack bulk, NAWCQ 2025. So as much as I wanted this to be the case, I don't think it is. I don't think I opened a Pyrite Knight. What the fuck? Who got this fucking creep shot of me? Huh? What is this, from your hotel? I don't know. Lee Harvey Oswald that was Sunday. That had to be Sunday. Anyway, had a good time. Got to meet everybody. So Friday I showed up and basically just did a meet and greet. By the time I got there weren't public events firing anymore. I'd maybe wanted to play in like the Friday Giant card or something, but I just didn't get a chance to. A couple of things became immediately apparent, though, that were going to totally fuck up everything. So first and foremost, I don't have my deck list put together anywhere I want to show you. I think it's only up on my DB alt that I don't want to reveal. But I played Mitsurugi Raziel almost card for card the Christian Uranalist from a couple of weeks ago. Did not put in the new MST guy from Duad. I probably should have. I just couldn't find room for it. And I also didn't think it was legal. That was like fucked up. And then but I swapped out the Castel, or I swapped out Castel for Tornado Dragon, and then rather than playing the Harpy's Feather Storms or the Solemn Warnings that were in the Uranalist, I played a Wasu and a Feather Duster. The Wasu was because the weekend before I went to locals for the first time since Duad release, and I was like, I'm here to play against Lunalight. I played against a ton of Lunalight. I jammed a bunch of friendlies versus Vanquish Soul. Came to the understanding that Lunalight was a pretty bad matchup for me. I may have just been an unfamiliarity with the cards, but I felt like it was really rough. So I was like, I want to be boarding a Wasu. So I get there and I'm like, fuck, I forgot to bring a Tornado Dragon. So we're running around trying to get a Tornado Dragon. Peeps eventually finds one for me, and it's in German. It's Tornado Drakta. And I will say, all weekend long, I was fucking it up. I would make it, and my opponents would go, is that once per turn? And I went, no. And then I'd look at it, and I'd be like, actually, I think it is, actually. And we'd have to look it up on Neuron. I was like, why don't I know this? I should know this. Fucking Eine Time per turn. Soft ones, yeah, that's what it was. Anyway, I was super happy with my list. I think it was as good as it could have been. I used everything in the side deck constantly. The main deck felt super tight. I think my board plan was a little underdeveloped. I think I left Star and Cross in a little more frequently than I should have. But other than that, I feel totally secure in it. I think my play, well, we'll get into the individual rounds. So the cool thing about Friday is getting to see everyone, getting to say hi to all my friends that I only get to see every like couple of months. I will say I saw Doug for about 5 minutes the entire time, and that kind of sucked. He was there because he has homies in the area, and so he was hanging out with them. And so we really just got to talk for about a 5-minute sequence, and then we were both pulled away by respective people wanting to sign things. And then, in case you're unfamiliar, Konami was running an Ultimate Time Wizard event at this tournament, but a couple of weeks ago said they would not be running the Ultimate Time Wizard event, and that Ultimate Time Wizard events, period, would be changing permanently to time travel events to comport with Master Duel's ban list, which would totally fuck up Edison. Huge community outrage resulted in an R-bet happening at the exact same time as the Ultimate Time Wizard would have been. All right? So Gage, Alex, Doug, and Ruxin all played the R-bet, which meant that I really didn't get to see them at all, which sucked ass. Gage I saw a little bit of because he went out drinking with us, but I saw Simo for like 20 minutes day one. It was rough. Speaking of, I won't have much to say with respect to the R-bet because I wasn't there and didn't go. I did make the decision to play the main event. I was like, as much as I want to play Edison, I worked hard for the invite. I feel like I should use it. Gage ended up doing fucking insane. He got top 4 at the R-bet. The R-bet capped at 256. He got top 4. That profile will be up on his channel probably by the time this video's out. So check it out, please. He was on Vayu, and I mean, I say it all the time, but he is damn good at Edison, and this week certainly proved it for sure. Anyway, we spent some time at the venue. The venue closes at like 7, which felt early, but like, I don't know. I don't really have a frame of reference for it. So we're wandering around Indianapolis, and Danny wants to go to this barcade. So Danny's favorite thing to do in any city is go to a barcade. It's like his number one favorite thing to do. He's total soy millennial with respect to barcade. And there's this place around the venue called 16-Bit, and we go there, and it's like all these fruity ass drinks that are called like the Donkey Konga, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is the place for me. A couple of other things at this place. They have a bunch of arcade cabinets that are all free play, and they have a fast Galaga machine. So if you're unfamiliar, the Ms. Pac-Man Galaga machines have 2 speeds. One is normal speed and one is 2x. And the 2x ones, I don't think it actually impacts the rate of play, but they are so much more fun. So I was like, fuck, man, I'm gonna go in. And so I played a ton of Galaga this weekend. I did crazy. I had the Galaga games of my life. I got to stage 20. I'm like, I was having so much fun. Anyway, we had a great time there. And Friday we got drunk off our fucking ass. Anyway, so Saturday we wake up. I'm feeling. Did you get a high score? No, because that Galaga machine had a high score that was almost like Stack Overflow. It was like 9999930, and I was like, oh, that's someone who just hacked it in. And then I turned around, and they have a list of high scorers. It was a legit score that people witnessed. It was just like up on the bar. They were like high Galaga score at this establishment. I was like, fuck me. I mean, I guess. Maybe they're crazy. I did set the high score on Burger Time, though. The Burger Time machine, I set the high score on. Anyway, so Saturday happened. We do the WCQ. I'm gonna pull up my thread that includes my games. Oh, this is what I played on the Magic the Gathering mat. I got the Ruxin sleeves, green Dragon Shield mats, emeralds. Dimax got it in one. First match was versus Malice. I feel like I played fine. One misplay that I did was they went Chessy Cat, pitch a card, draw 2, and then I went at Res Fuelos because I wanted to Fuelos them before they made the Link Haribo or the Lingaribo that would make the backup live. But if I was doing that, I should have done it before the resolution of the effect of Chessy to give them more chances at Called By or Ash, and they did have the Ash. So that was like a little misplay, but I played fine else otherwise. It just I lost the die roll and it just didn't work out. But that's how it works. So I lose my first match and I'm feeling pretty bad about it, but I'm like, I have no problem submarining. I love submarining. Second match, I play versus Gem Knight. So with respect to all of the top decks, the only one I had no reps against was Gem Knight. And I was like, fuck, I'm going to have to intuit what these cards do. I know what the new cards do, but I'm going to have to like intuit what people's game plans are going to be. And of course, my second round is versus Gem Knight. And I'm like, fuck. Thankfully, all the cards that I was boarding for Malice also beat Gem Knight. I was like so happy that I made put Tornado Dragon in the extra rather than the Castell for the Harpy's Featherstorm, because boy, Tornado Dragon sure beats the shit out of Brilliant Fusion and fucking Scatter Fusion and PP Fusion and Poo Poo Fusion. So I won that one, and then afterwards I run into Julian and Super Insane, who went to an Alestrals event for an uncut sheet, and they were like, we're gonna cut the uncut sheet, and showed me a pair of silly scissors, and I was like, you're just lighting a couple stacks on fire? And they were like, yeah, for sure. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Third round was up against Mitsu Orchest. The third game I played like shit. I just played like total shit in the third game. Didn't end up mattering because the deck is very forgiving. Like, that's when I say that I wanted to have situations like this where I can play bad and still win. Like, that's what I'm talking about. I got to see Ruxin as well. Ruxin was hanging out. He got out of the R-bet pretty quick. But he showed up, he was in and out. Round 4 was up against Malice. I encountered the exact same play pattern where they were like normal Chessy effect, and I was like Fuelos, and it resolved, and I was like, yippee, I'm genius. I won that one. We'll talk about Dual Dash in a second. Round 5 was versus Vanquish Soul. Vanquish Soul is kind of a hard deck to get a handle on with respect to if you're playing right or not. But I feel like I played fine. I feel like I boarded accordingly. I'm on like Lightning Storm for that matchup, which forces out the Snow Devil early. I think it's okay, but like it's still kind of difficult. Then so I'm 4-1 at this point, and then I go into round 6. I end round 6 5-1. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself and my chances. However, this 6th round was really rough. So I'm playing against Mitsu Orchest once again. And I'm about to tell a story that sounds like a total nightmare. I want to be clear. It was total good vibes the entire time. Like, this is about to sound really bad. My opponent was super respectful. I feel like I was super respectful the whole time. We were very much like, it's a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! We understand how this is going to happen. Anyway, here's what happened. So, 3 judge calls in this game. I win game 1 after losing the die roll in like a really kind of drawn out back and forth. I mean, that's Orcust, right? So it ends up being like a 25-minute game 1. Game 2, my opponent combos off, gets to a position where I think I actually could be in it, so I stay in the game with an understanding that I am playing a time card, and like theoretically, if it takes my opponent like 5 turns to win, like maybe I can just time him in game 3. It's kind of shitty, but like whatever, you know, that's Yu-Gi-Oh, baby. So in round 6, we get to a position where my opponent is on nothing, with one exception, which is Lacrima in the graveyard with Requiem, right? And I'm like, okay, that's kind of rough. They've interacted with me enough that I've got 2 monsters on field, which I want to overlay into Detonator. But if I overlay into Detonator into the trap, it's going to fuck me up. So to bait out the Lacrima, I go battle phase into an on-field SP. My opponent goes, that's fine. I go, sure. Ice over the SP, Sword Direct. And I go, main 2. My opponent goes, hold up. If you're going main 2, I'll go Lacrima. And I go, that's fine. They go, okay, Requiem effect. And I go, you can only Requiem in main phase. We're in battle. And he goes, no, we're in main 2. You said you're going main 2. And I go, well, if I'm going main 2, then I have the first action under main 2. And he goes, no, you have the first action to activate a quick effect or an effect that has met its trigger, but you don't have open game state priority. And I go, oh, that's not correct. So we have to call a judge about it. The judge comes over and goes, no. To be clear, I want to be honest, this is like a totally normal thing to fuck up, I think. Like, the only reason I know this intimately is because of how Omega worked with stuff, like main phase Omega triggers, right? So we get this resolved. It takes like 3 minutes. We get an addition. We're both a little shook up, and I'm like, okay, continuing. I get to a position where I go, Habakiri tribute Saji. My opponent goes, last card, DD Crow, targets Saji. And I go, okay, I'll resolve the Saji trigger. I'll grab a ritual. And my opponent goes, no, I'm DD Crowing the Saji in response to the Saji trigger. And I go, nah, that resolves. My opponent goes, no, if you move something out of where its trigger location is, it won't resolve. And I go, what you're thinking about is if a monster goes to where it would meet a trigger location mid-chain, but is not there when its trigger would be able to activate. And he's like, no, I'm pretty sure it works the way I'm describing. I'm like, let's call a judge. I'm like, you understand that DD Crow would then just be called by the grave, right? So I'm like, let's just call a judge. We call a judge. Judge rules in my favor. My opponent appeals. So we get the head judge. My opponent and the head judge rules for me. This takes 6 minutes. We are now in time, but we have 9 extra minutes. So the first action afterwards, I go Mitsurugi Ritual. I look at the field. I go, wait. It's been a long turn. An infinite impermanence is active in the middle zone. I shift over to zone 2 and I place it down and I go Ritual. He goes, that's the imperm zone. And I go, no, the center is the imperm zone. You said an imperm and an orchestrated crescendo. Crescendo in zone 2, imperm in zone 3. I'm playing around imperm by playing in the crescendo zone. My opponent goes, actually, it's the opposite. Crescendo center, imperm zone 2. And I go, I guess we'll just get a judge. And to be clear, again, my opponent was not fishing for the round at all. Like, they literally, like, it was just a 15-minute turn. Like, I am 100% certain they just believed it to have been this way. And so, because even if they win that judge call, I win game 3. Like, if they win that judge call, it takes them another turn and a half to win the game. We are in time. I will just win in game 3, right? So, okay. So, we get a judge. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. It's been a long turn. Here's what's happened. We disagree on what zone imperm was activated in. My opponent is like, he has been playing around imperm this entire turn by activating stuff in the center column. And I go, I think I've been playing around imperm this entire turn by activating stuff in zone 2. And it's just a he said, she said. Like, there's nothing they can do from that. So the first judge says, because I went like this and then moved to 2, that displays an intent to play around imperm, which means that it's more likely I am cognizant of imperm and playing around it. My opponent appeals. We get the head judge over, and the head judge says a sentence that I cannot believe which is, can you walk me through the entire turn? And we're like, okay, we can. It's not going to change anything because we disagree on where the imperm was activated. And the judge goes, I understand that. I'd just like you to walk me through the entire turn, which, to be clear, is within their purview and may have helped the investigation. I don't want to disparage this judge, but it puts me and my opponent in a really rough position because we're like, we started this turn 20 minutes ago at this point. And so I'll be honest, I kind of locked in, and I was able to walk through the entire turn, like bar for bar. And then there's another 5-minute deliberation, and the judge rules for me. I resolve the ritual and end up winning the game. And there was one more thing too. Because I resolved the ritual, I get to Ame, and I go Ame attack. They go for a hand effect. I go Ame trigger. They go banish crescendo to add so I can pay for the Ame trigger. I'm like, that's a cool play. They do it, and then the judge goes, are you permitted to activate crescendo here? And we go, we summoned Lacrima this turn. We're actually locked from using the crescendo effect. And the judge awards my opponent a PE minor. And I'm like, I understand that's your purview. I understand that's your rule. But we've been here for like 30 minutes. I'm not going to hold my judge to account here, or my opponent to account here, man. It's one of those situations where the judges did their job perfectly and admirably, but I want to be like, can you please cut them some slack? Like as a people pleaser or whatever. I'm just like, please, can you cut them some slack? And again, I know that this sounds like a horrid situation. I want to be clear. It was total good vibes the entire time. We were having a great time. You know, I didn't feel disrespected at all. I'm 100% certain that my opponent was just wrong about 2 rules-based interactions and then had a disagreement about where imperm was activated. I do not think he was sharking at all. I know all of you are hearing a situation where an opponent appealed a judge ruling and you're like, your opponent's sharking. I promise you they were not. Like, I do know when people are sharking. Much better than you do. Because I was there. So, this was why the round 7, by the way, was 45 minutes over. It was my fault. So we finish, and unfortunately, like, I just got a little shook from this. You know, I don't know. Though it went in my favor and I ended up winning the match and it was good vibes the entire time, it was still like an extra 30 minutes of negotiation I didn't want to do. And so I get a little shook from this, and I'm like, I do what I can. I go to the bathroom, I take a walk, I eat a little snack, and I get into the next round, which is round 7. And I just punt it. I just couldn't shake it. It was versus Mitsurugi Onomat Raziel. I only felt shook for the first game, but I did play a little sloppy during the setup turn. I was playing around too much and ended up ending on a board that couldn't beat an X'd lead, and they had like an X'd lead, and I paid for it. And then in game 2, my opponent just opened the stones, and I had nothing to do about it. It was like a double Charmy, and I was like, I guess I have to pass on this. Like, I can't play through it. And they had like, I had like Nibiru Ash, and they had like cross out extender, and I was like, okay. And then so I'm 5-2 at this point. I'm like, that's fine. I just got to win out, and I can still make day 2. And then who is my fucking round 8? But Team Samurai X1. God Sam. So I walk over to VIP, and Sam's like, there's no fucking way. And I'm like, yeah. So Sam's on Blue Eyes. I'm thinking, Blue Eyes, all right, that's not so bad. I lose the die roll. Game 1, I open just Fuwalos for non-engine, and he has an Ash for the Fuwalos. Goes off. Plays around Nibiru as well. I'm representing Nibiru super hard with non-verbals, and he picks up on it and plays around it, which means that he builds a board that I theoretically could beat, but I just don't have the stuff to do it. Game 2, he Fuwaloses me. I don't have an answer to it. I am under the opinion that in Mitsu Rise, you should go for it. So I went for it, and like, I could make Baguska, but I don't think I can beat the trap if he goes for the trap, like, by just nat drawing White Woman. And for that reason, I'm like, I do have to go for it. So I give him, like, 4 draws, I want to say. And we get to the final sequence, and unfortunately, like, I get him down to 0 cards, or to 1 card in hand. And he has, like, nothing on field. He's got the trap. I've got cross and 2 draws to figure it out. And I rip the top card. It's Droll. I'm like, okay, the cross is going to get me out here. I go, cross. He goes, last card, Ghost Ogre. And I was like, you got me. Man, he played it very well. He played it very well. And then he fucking Typhoned me out of the game. Huge buff to the Typhon win rate. So from that point, I was X3, and you can't day 2 with X3. I think you could have, theoretically, so I stayed in an extra round, if only to improve Sam's breakers. But they were cutting to 19 points or top 256. It was 19. The 19 pointers went down to about 300. So I unfortunately did not make day 2. I'd hoped to make day 2. I was a little upset about it. I think that, like... And then I got a no-show for my last round, which was like so debilitating. Like, come the fuck on. Came here to play, baby. I think the first game in the first match and the first game in round 7 after the long-ass judge call, I could have played better. And that may have changed how my tournament went. You know, I don't know if they had the Ash already for the Malice player. If they did, it wouldn't have changed the outcome. I don't know if I would have won game 3 against the Onomat player. It would have changed the outcome. But, you know, it is what it is. I do want to say a couple of things about the format specifically. So first and foremost, I mostly tested solo on like DB, but I tested a little with the circle. Of the people in the circle, Foxy I think also went X3. Craig made day 2 on Unchained, which I think that list is coming out in the few days, but it's spicy as all hell. And guess who fucking topped the event? Ivy, playing a very funny deck. So she was like in her fucking feelings all week about being like, you know, should I play Lunalight? And then we came to the consensus that Lunalight was not good. She was like, should I play Malice? I was like, you should play Malice. Malice is good. She was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to get there in time in terms of the interactions that I'll need to know. Do you know what she played? The Herman Hansen ass Ogdoadic Mitsurugi deck. Can you believe that? Look at this list, dog. She and a couple of other people reverse engineered this deck after it had a couple of crazy finishes, and honestly, she looked undefeatable on this fucking thing. I think she went 8-1 day 1, and then 1-2 day 2, or went 1-1-1 day 2, made it into top 64, dropped in top 64. But look at this fucking list, dog. What a masterpiece. There was a really annoying comment on this as well, where I mentioned it in the short that went up Monday, and someone was like, I'm not calling a deck playing a couple of Nayas and an Ogdoadic deck. It's like, you dumb fuck. It's playing 3 Naya and a Nunu and a Curse and Snake Rain and Water Lily and Daybreak, and it's using the Daybreak for a Selene Snapper setup. What do you fucking want? I'm sorry. Like, this was an Ogdoadic deck. Oh my god. It's got more fucking Ogdoadic cards than Mitsurugis. It's got more than fucking Fiendsmiths for sure. I don't know. It's so, I love seeing this deck do well. I know Herman has already kind of proof of concepted it out, but I think this strategy is really, really good and super slept on, which brings me into kind of a discussion about the TCG. I'm making a video about this week. I hope it goes up this week. But I just want to kind of interrogate why no one is playing the TCG. I don't know if you all feel this way. This was like the biggest WCQ ever. So this feels like an insane statement to make. 2,800 people at this WCQ. Like, nobody's playing TCG. What are you talking about? Clearly people are, because they're coming to this event, right? And I get that. But back in the day, because there was no support for alternate formats, there were no valuable alternate formats, there was really only one way to play the game, and so everyone who was a Yu-Gi-Oh fan played the card game. For this event in particular, I had a really hard time finding people to test with, finding places to get quality reps in. You know, I had to do the dueling book ladder grind, which sucks, but like whatever. And whenever I talk about this format, everyone just talks about how bad it is. I mean, this is something that I know that I personally am very down on Yu-Gi-Oh! A significant amount of the time. I'm very frustrated with the format a lot of the time. But at present, I think the format's fine. There's like 10 decks that were on our radar for shit we needed to have testing against. The top 4 had 2 of those insane-ass rogue decks in it. I think that the games produced by the top strategies are interesting, and I hate to be a bitch about it. I don't really have a problem with the Mulch armies. I think they present annoying, going first blowouts, and I think that skilled players have a pretty decent time doing their best around them. I really liked this format. I had a lot of fun testing it. I had a lot of fun playing it. And the only thing I get when I voice this opinion is people going, oh no, I mean, this format's awful. And I go, well, are you playing it? And they go, no, not at all. I don't understand. Sam said something during our match that kind of stuck with me. When I sat down to play, he was like, I kind of assumed you'd be at the RBET. And I'm like, I thought about it, but I worked hard for the invite. I'm going to fucking see it out to the end. And he said, I'm so happy you're playing this. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, it's just like, you do have to. Like, you kind of got to. And I think expressed a sort of frustration about the same phenomenon. That despite the fact that the WCQ was the biggest I think it's fucking ever been, despite the fact the viewership was out of this world, production was better than it's been in the past, it just feels like the lack of a unifying experience with respect to playing the TCG is a huge negative for people who want to talk about and think about Yu-Gi-Oh! In the abstract. And it'd be really easy for me as a content creator to never touch the TCG again. Comically easy. But I don't want to do that. And it is frustrating voicing this opinion and voicing my opinions on the meta and largely being met with people who don't play the meta being like, well, I hate it. I don't know. Rebby's right, too. No one makes TCG content, so there's no real point to actually even bother. The state of TCG content at present is like, you can watch one of the 14 videos DBG uploaded today. You can watch GG Yu-Gi-Oh's Where to Hand Trap or quick overviews. You can watch my fucking 10-minute testings, which, Jesus Christ. Like, and everything else feels kind of paywalled. Like, I guess there are resources to learn that you can get from like a spreadsheet or a Metafy class. But in terms of just people uploading the type of content that consistently gets people thinking about and participating in the TCG, you just don't get it. And it's to the point where you bring up that you play the TCG or you're interested in improving at the TCG and people are like, why? I don't know. Even Josh, one of the greatest TCG players of all time, is like a fucking Master Duel channel. I mean, I'm not helping. I do maybe 1.5 videos about the TCG a week, but if you want to watch videos designed to help you improve the TCG, if you want to think about what's good in the TCG, the ecosystem has become so different than it was even like 2 years ago that it almost feels impossible. Do you watch Lucas Sacco? I do. I watch Lucas Sacco and Vexen. I think they're fine. I like their stuff a lot, but like, there's got to be a way to talk about the main way to play the card game. this isn't the main way to play the card game. I think that's what I'm understanding. I think what I'm experiencing may not be me being upset there's no unified experience that Yu-Gi-Oh players can bond over, and instead is me being upset that I am a standard player and Commander has come. And Commander is playing Malice Mirrors on Master Duel. Oh, joy. I shouts out to Dyer going life worthy alt format. The problem with TCG is the cost. I don't think that's true. I hate to be like I don't think that's true, but I do not think that's true. I know that sounds crazy to say. I know that these decks are expensive, all right? Yu-Gi-Oh decks have cost so much for so long. It is insane to me to hear Yu-Gi-Oh is cost prohibitive now when I'm looking at a 60-card deck that's worth $500. When a year and a half ago, people were in on the TCG and a mid-tier deck cost you $1,200. You know what I mean? Like, I understand that's a lot of money. When it was twice that much a year and a half ago, people were playing TCG. So what gives? Rebecca, I want to point out your comment because I think that's the conclusion I'm coming to. The Ryziel and Malice release, to me, despite the fact that those cores are comically inexpensive at this point. Let me just pull up a Ryziel build. Ext is $3. Ice is $7. It's the best card in the deck. Sword is $2. Star is $2. Node is 11 cents. Detonator is $1.35. Duo Drive is $5. Like, despite the fact, the money's in the Charmies for sure. Despite the fact that those cores are relatively inexpensive at this point. Their release displayed I think their release caused a lot of players to internalize the truth of Yu-Gi-Oh, which is as much as we rail against rotation, we actually already have it. And things rotate at a rate that far exceeds the card games with explicit rotation like Magic the Gathering. If you invested into Ryziel, you probably paid about $200 for the core at release when the cards were at their peak of being expensive. It's been about 4 months since then. They've received a hit on the ban list. If you intend to continue playing them, you have to purchase 7th Tachyon, a card that is still $26. And in 1 week, they are about to be superseded by VSK9. So despite the fact that the decks are relatively inexpensive, you are paying that expense every 6 months with consistent upkeep over the life of the deck, which is just not how the game used to be. I don't know. Fizzy Dad, thank you for the 1,000. One thing, if I may add, it just feels really hard to find a playtesting group. I'm a noob. I'm decent, but far from anything good. It feels hard trying to find a group where I don't feel like I hold things back. Yeah, I mean, circles are tough as well, but they become tougher when there aren't people who are playing the game. And I want to conclude with this. I feel like the 2,800 people at that event, despite the fact that there were a lot of them, felt like the last 2,800 people that cared about TCG. I feel like there were very few people that were into the TCG consistently over the course of the year that did not end up at the WCQ. I don't know. at least interest given the stream numbers. How many of those stream numbers were people just waiting for the epic ban list? This is bleak, dude. I mean, this is how modern players felt. This is how standard players felt. You know? A changing of the guard. Okay, let's bounce back from that. There are some other things I want to talk about. So first up, let's talk about the ban list. If you guys are unfamiliar, I guess I can talk about this freely now. Someone leaked a ban list that a couple of content creators went very in on, both in terms of economics, selling cards at the venue, and in terms of making content. A significant amount of people said, I have an inside source that has given me advanced information about what the ban list is going to be. And they showed a ban list, which, to be completely clear, you would have to be a dumbass to believe. It was there was just no way. And so, despite the fact that there was a really interesting final, really interesting semifinal, quarterfinal on stream, almost all the replies were like, "Where's the ban list we saw leaked that was real?" Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Let me put some cream on my wife's back real quick. Okay, I'm back. How could you fall for this? Honestly, you people are very easy to trick. You are very easy to trick. All I have to say is nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happens. Couple of extra bonuses in terms of stuff that occurred. Saturday was on Guess the Card. Let me see if did they repost it. Let's watch this.
With Joseph here, you have 60 seconds. Guess the card before chat. Go.
Is it a spell?
No.
Is it a monster?
Yes.
Is it a 4-star monster?
No.
Does it have an effect?
Yes.
Is it a 5-star monster?
No.
Is it a 6-star monster?
No.
Is it a 3-star monster?
No.
Is it a 2-star monster?
No.
Is it a 1-star monster?
No.
Is it a 9-star monster?
No.
Is it a 10-star monster?
No.
Is it an 11-star monster?
No.
Does it have a rank?
Yes.
Ah, god dang it. Does it have to be summoned using... does it have an alternate summoning condition?
No.
Is it a rank 4?
Yes.
Is it played in Ryziel?
Yeah. No, actually, no. I don't think, not commonly.
Is it a number monster?
Yes.
Is it Baguska?
Yes.
That is played in Ryziel.
Oh, okay. Sometimes. More
Fuck you mean sometimes?
Lunalite. Have you played into Lunalite today?
I played into Baguska and Lunalite. And let me tell you something about Baguska. Mirror Logic Aggregator still negates this card. Big surprise.
That's a good point, actually. All right, well, thank you for the tips as well, Joseph.
Thank you.
Kangas was trying to get me to play this format he'd created all weekend called Smash, which I am gonna play. But I got to hop on a guess the card segment. Thankfully, I was not a brand risk. I did say God dang it. I was like, I shouldn't have said that, but I think that's okay. Kangas is in the League of Legends. Kangas, the very same. You know how old he is? He's my age. I thought he was like 40. He was like, I was talking League with him because I was trying to talk shop, and I was like, yeah, me and Danny used to be really into League. We went to MSG when Worlds was there, and he was like, oh my God, that was way before I was playing. I got in 2016, and I was like, you got in 2016? What the fuck? Who gets in the League in 2016? Oh my God. But it's like when I got out. But it is what it is. I want to talk real quickly about the side events. So Sunday I did side events, and I want to be honest with you. If you played me in a side event, I'm so sorry. I did 2 regional flights. The first regional flight, I played like penis. Second regional flight, I got to the 3rd round where I played like penis. I don't know what it was. I just couldn't play well Sunday. I got like 4 hours of sleep Thursday, 5 hours of sleep Friday, like 9 hours of sleep Saturday, and Sunday's the day I felt the worst. How is that fair? It wasn't clicking. It wasn't clicking. Like it had just left me over I couldn't lock in anymore. And so I was eating shit. So I was like, whatever, I'll call it on the side events. A couple of friends went to play Rivalry. And if you don't know this, on one hand, I want to applaud Konami for the change they did to Rivalry. On the other hand, they did a second, way worse change to Rivalry. So Rivalry of Warlords, they changed all the decks. And they changed the decks to decks that had powerful banned cards in them. And it was like a Mayakashi Eldritch list that had Cardiff Safe Return in it. It was like so fucking tight. Like I thought that was really cool. However, what they stopped doing was including a segment on how to play the deck. So they just give you a page with the list, and they gave you like a Master Duel style blurb that was like, there was a Monarch one, and it was like the Monarchs dominate their opponents with powerful tribute summons. Here's your cards. And so for Leah, that was really rough because she wanted to play Rivalry because she doesn't know a lot of the new archetypes, and she was like, I want to get more ingratiated into Yu-Gi-Oh, but you've handed me a deck with no understanding of how to play it, and I'm just supposed to read the cards on the fly. Like, that sucks. Like, I don't like that. I don't know. I applaud them for doing cool stuff with the list and putting in fun-ass band cards, but you can't take away the how to play guide. Like, that's the point of Rivalry. I don't know. The second is Hat. So giant card was Hat, and I will accept your apologies right now. For those of you that don't know, I have long had a criticism of Hat, which is Hat is not one format, but 3 formats that occurred in rapid succession. And the community doesn't really have a great handle on which Hat to play. I made this comment in like 2021 when we first got the guidance. Since then, the community has totally coalesced around the Lightsworn structure deck being the last release. And importantly, has then told me, Joseph, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. There is a canonized Hat, right? We all know what we mean when we say Hat. Well, guess who didn't? The Hat format at Nationals, I have been told, was played under the July release schedule. So there's a lot of cards that are way less good. This totally fucks, by the way, anyone who brought Gear. I feel so bad for them. Noelle has a good thread about it on Blue Sky, but in it she talks about, okay, we were not told this. Also, they all went up to ask about a couple of very specific rulings and how they'd be ruled, were told an answer, and then it was ruled a different way based on who the judge was. And this was shocking to me. The judges couldn't decide if they wanted Master Rule 3 to be implemented or not. So some of them were like, you are playing under Master Rule 3 guidance, and some weren't, which is like, I'm sorry, totally unprofessional. Like, that's the one thing you have to know. And also is just solved by playing the right hat format. It reminds me of like the first Time Wizard GOAT event where they did it with Cybernetic Revolution Legal. And I was like, how'd they fuck this up? I feel the same here. How did they fuck this up? It's totally impossible to fuck up, and they did anyway. Oh my God. One more thing I want to talk about. I played a little game that you may not have heard of called Dual Dash. So this is, I've been looking up stuff about it because I've never heard of it, but this is a convention-only piece of software that uses Xbox Connect for two people to race against each other as Karibos. Now, they maintain that this has been available at every YCS, which is just a flat-out lie, because I've never seen it before, and I'm always scouring YCSs. But here's what it is. I think there's a copyright 2011 on the bottom there. So it's been out for a long time. Anyway, check this shit out. Here's me and Scarlett playing it.
Oh no.
So what you do is you jump by jumping, you pick up little cards that do something, and then you run by running in place. And I was having a great time doing this. I did one with Danny. This is up on clips. Scarlett edges me out in this one by just a little. I beat him on the rematch. We didn't get to play a game 3. I'm going crazy on this shit. I get kind of pissed when I lose though. This ruled. I played this with everyone who would play with me. It was so fun. I got in one verse. I got in a couple versus Scarlett. I got in one versus Zach Butler, who ended up topping. Played against Danny. Oh my God. Why were you just holding a Sharpie? I was holding Sharpies all day. It was fun as fuck. Please bring this to every YCS. Really bring it to every YCS. Don't just say you do. You hate losing, dude. It's so funny. No, I knew that if I lost, I would do a funny crash out for the video. But it was also a big workout, which was great because I ate like shit. We went out a lot of places. One thing that's interesting about Indiana is weed is not legal, but they have these things called consumption lounges. And the way the consumption lounges work is you go in and you smoke weed. So they were like, it's like a hookah bar, which is dumb as hell. Or you can get like Delta 8 from gas stations. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I didn't smoke at all. But I drank a lot. After Saturday, we went back to that, or after Sunday, we went back to that stupid bar again. And we literally stayed there from like, I want to say 6:30 to like when they closed, like a little after midnight. And I got there and Keegan swung by and was like, Gage, let's play some Edison. And they were playing Edison, and I was like, Keegan was like, do you want in? I'm like, yeah, but Keegan had Counterpunch, and I was like, I don't really know how to play Counterpunch. I can go get my deck. And I'm like, it's like a 10-minute walk back to the apartment, then a 10-minute walk back here. You know, the vibe might be different. I was like, wait a minute. Jordan had to drive home. So he was packing up at home to drive home. And I called Jordan, and I'm like, can you drive really quickly on your way out by the bar and just hand off the deck? And he did, and so I got to play. I play Hero Beat against King Scarlet, who was on Lightsworn. He had brought his, and it was a lot of fun. It was good. I had planned to go with Half Mist down Mass Street on Sunday, but it started fucking pouring down rain out of nowhere, so we just drunk. The actual the Sunday games were really cool. I thought the finals was awesome. I love that he walked into the World Crown. That's like such a hype way to end. And then when he signed the lens, that was so fucking dope. To this day, it's been one day. I don't know if they told him he could or not, because they let him keep the lens. And he maintains they said, go sign the lens after you win. But after he signed it, Billy Brake on commentary was like, oh no, you can't do that. Don't do that. Oh, that's so bad. And I was like, Billy, if they arranged this, you're sucking all the fun out of this. Come on. They forgot to tell him. Oh, man, it was so hype. But the dude had total aura. It was a very oral finals. Conquerors hockey, all I can say. The thing that really stuck out to me about this event, which was so cool, is that a lot of the people who performed really well were first timers. Of the individuals who made it through the points playoffs to go to Worlds, Kangas was showing me. Kangas, by the way, one more thing about Kangas, came to the soy-ass millennial gamer bar to money match Distant Coder and then to play Smash with us. It was fun. But Kangas showed me his notes to talk about the accolades each player has. And of the two people that made it to Worlds, one of them had, I think it was their first Premier top, and the other, he just did not have any notes on, period. He was like, I don't know. They just didn't give me notes for this guy. I guess they were like, not too much to talk about. And it was like, damn, let's go. Then in the top 4, it's the top 4 that go to Worlds from the actual event, right? Aditya is obviously fucking insane. One of the greatest of all time. But 2 of the other people were also, like, one of them, it was like their first big event. The other person had like a top. It was crazy, right? Oh, man. It was awesome. Just a lot of people who I think weren't expecting to get that far, and a lot of people who just recently started taking it really seriously. And I like that. I do like that. You know, I could see being a pro and being upset that, like, I feel like a format in which a person who has never topped before is able to go to Worlds is not a particularly skill testing or good one. But I want to hope in my heart of hearts that the reason that they qualified is because they are skilled, that they are that good, and that it is just easier than it has been in the past to get to the same level as everybody else. That the free wins that pros were getting off people that were less prepared have become less and less frequent. I'm hoping that's the case. I don't think I have the understanding to say if it is one way or the other, but I'm hoping that's the case. Anyway, after Sunday, I went to bed. I got back up this morning. I had an early flight. I flew in. I came home. I had food. I took a big ass shit. Took some ibuprofen. I went to bed. I woke up and here I am. And skipped Chef. Is it not up yet, Dyer? Is Chef not up? I guess I'll say a little about, like, I DM'd you. I'm not reading DMs. I'm on stream. I said just push it. If you monetized it, just push it. I'll deal with it later. It's got to be up for Danny's stream. He's not streaming yet. Good. Anyway, my final thoughts on it are, I'm kind of at a bit of a crossroads. Every time I go to the WCQ, I get totally motivated next year to do way better. And I have found it harder to maintain that motivation year on year for the reasons that I described earlier about like a lack of my friends and colleagues playing the TCG. I will be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In some way, shape, or form for the remainder of the year for sure, trying to do it as competitively as possible. I've previously mentioned that I've thought about taking a little bit of a break from Current to play like Edison and go to like some R-bets or something. And I may do that. But I also may just want to continue to grind the TCG to like snag an invite to go back to the WCQ and then to perform. May want to go to YCS as like prepared and ready. And after I graduate from fucking law school at the end of the year, I will have the opportunity to in like a January, February, March, April YCS. So I don't know. Either way, I do want to continue playing competitive. Despite the fact that I like fucking around on Master Duel and stuff, I think that I really do not get the same thing out of playing anything but competitive that I do from competitive. And as much as I would like to commanderfy my channel, I think I do want to keep playing the game at this level. You have that broken brain TCG players have where we need to play standard. They developed it to be played. They developed it to be played, baby. I really enjoyed when you were playing alt formats like Tengu on stream. Will you be doing that more in the future? I maybe could do that with Edison. I would also be willing to do it with time travel if time travel gets integrated in a way that matters instead of a 3-day format. The last thing I want to say, of course, is now look at me, I'm a boss. It's so funny that Malice failed to win another large event. I'm now seeing people backlash to it and being like, why are we doing this meme? Malice has won many large events, like the Croatian-Serbian national qualifier and the NA point playoff. Here's why. Because it's funny. Because I think it is quite funny. 23, I'm the shit, now look at me, I'm a boss like my nigga Rose. Even if it had won the NAWCQ, it would have 0 YCS wins. It won France. Oh, congratulations. Oh, you beat a bunch of French people who weren't even allowed to play with the BLLM cards. Amazing to be like, Malice won an event where you could get disqualified for playing Orchest, which won the NAWCQ by going, oi, do you have a license for that, mate? You got a license to be playing Galatea I? France won your playoff? What can I say? Maybe the BLLM cards were holding them back. NA sent 0 Americans to Worlds from playoffs. Get owned. We sent 4 from the actual event. Calm down, European. Nah, I know Vlad's going through it. It's got to be hard watching someone else live your dream. An American going to Worlds by playing Gem Knight. In his defense, he never got the opportunity.